Hello everybody. So this is just a short tutorial on some basic Python operations and kind of the difference between languages you might be used to, like Java or C++ and Python. If you already know Python, this video is probably not for you because it's going to be pretty simple. So firstly, get it installed on your system if you don't have it. If you have a Mac or a Linux, there's a good chance it's on there. I've never had either of those types without it already installed. But Microsoft sometimes doesn't have it, so just come here and install it. If you want to check which Python, just type that, Python 3. And yeah, if you get a path, then it means you have it. So yeah, let's actually talk about some of the aspects of Python 3 that are different. So here's the starter code for programming assignment 2. You'll notice that there's no brackets, basically. That's one of the big differences between Python and other languages, is that it's actually separated by spacing. This is a tab, but you could use any number of spaces that you want as long as the lines of the code are on the same line in the same block. So like if you had a for loop, right, and you wanted two spaces, well, every line that's lined up with it with each other is going to be run in that for loop until you get another line on a different spacing. So it's all spacing based. It makes it easier to read, easier to write, in my opinion. The other big thing about Python is that everything is an object. So you'll notice this declaration here, we don't actually say string, right? Even though hello world is a string, we don't have to say that because all data, all declarations and variables are objects. So I could say number equals 1, right? And that would be an integer, maybe on the inside of the data, but on the outside, it's wrapped in an object. And that makes it really flexible. You can add ints to floats, you can convert them really easily. And another thing I'll show you later is you can make lists with all sorts of different data types. So it just makes it convenient and useful, right? So let's just go over some basic operations. This, believe it or not, is a Hello World program in Python. And this actually outlines why I love Python so much, is that it's so much simpler than any other language. Now, if we want to run this, we're just going to say Python 3 and then the name of the file. And in this case, it's test.py. Boom, there it is. Hello world. Let's say we want to get input from a user. Input and enter your name, right? So we could leave it like that, or we could put it in a variable. And just like the other variable, we don't have to declare a type. There's no type declarations anywhere. We just put it right here, and we're good to go. And then I'm actually gonna print this variable. I'll show you the old way, which is this kind of formatting option, because when we actually run these on Mininet, Mininet doesn't have as up-to-date of a Python, so we're going to want to use this old way. There is another way called fstrings, and it's much simpler. So I encourage you to look that up and use that. But for this project, let's just stick with the format. So we'll put name, whatever your name is, and there you go. Like, see how just it's 2 lines, and this is like something that would have taken 10, 15 lines in Java or something like that, right? It's just so awesome. So I'll show you how a simple if statement. So if, I guess, name equals my name, we just need colons here, and then we need to obviously give it some code or something. So we'll just say hooray, because everybody's happy. So if the name is matching, hooray, see, there we go. So yeah, if statements are really simple. There's other way you can say, like, if it's a list, you could say in, or you can say, if you want to say if name is Elliot and something else, you could say name does not equal, I don't know, Bob or something. That'll work too. Oh wait. Oh, whoops. if name, sorry, not is, equals. So cancel that. But yeah, point is, we do ands, we can use or in that same fashion. So something you should probably know is how to do for loops. The basic for loop is a little bit different. So we want to say, if we want to just do like a for loop of 10, right? We'll say for I, or whatever you want to name it, in range 10. So the reason we kind of have to do this range here is because pretty much every loop is essentially a for each loop. And so we're saying basically for each I in this range of stuff. So a range function is just going to have like 1 to 10 or whatever. So let's just print that range, I guess I, right? Here, we'll comment that out so it doesn't run again. And there you go, 0 to 9. Yeah, note how it actually does. It doesn't. It's exclusive of the last one. So there's that. And lastly, I'll show you really one of the most powerful features of Python, and that's its lists. So we'll make a list called mylist, sorry. And yeah, so this is just an empty list. We just need square brackets. Within it, we can put, I don't know, some text or whatever. And here's where it gets weird. Put a 1, we can put true, we can put 1.3, and that works. There's no problem with that. Now, how you iterate through that, we'll use the really more standard for loop, which is for each, right? For each, whatever you want to name it, item, let's say, in my list, and then we need the colon. Let's just print what the item is. So yeah, see, isn't that weird? That is not something you can really do easily in Java or C++. So that comes in handy. So let's go to this code here now. So basically, one of the cool things about Python is it's really supported. Everybody loves it, so they just keep writing libraries and all that. Socket library is one of them, and it makes things really easy by allowing you to create these socket objects. You can open a socket, so to speak, and we're basically just accessing parts of that object, right? AF underscore INET is like a variable, right? But you might want to access, some methods or something like that. So we name the socket S because we open it as S, right? Then we can access its methods, connect, send all. Now, if you wanna learn a little more about the socket library or any library, I highly recommend you go to the Python docs. Like if you just look up Python socket library, it's probably going to be the first thing at the top. You'll be able to find all the methods, all the weirdly named variables that you don't understand. We're not asking you to really understand these parts. We're just kind of asking you to understand generally how you can use this library and how you might get it to just do some really, really simple stuff to start. So hopefully that's enough to kind of get you going on Python. I'm also going to make a video on debugging Python because it's a little weird, and the method I'm going to use is going to be independent of your IDE. So yeah, all right, hopefully that helped.